All right, what's going on, everybody? This is your professor, Dr. Jace K. Austin, and welcome to week number one. That is right, week number one of your 9449 class, which will be essentially your business class. Again, and as always, I am your professor, Dr. Jace Austin. I am very much under the weather. I got to figure out what's going on. I don't know if this is some sort of, I don't know. I got hit with something that my partner got hit with. She got hit with it last week, last Thursday. I came to her place on Saturday, got sick on Sunday, and whereas she was recovered within a day, I'm I'm better than I was on Sunday, but I'm still pretty messed up. And I'm wondering if whatever she got, I'm wondering if I got that plus allergies plus a sinus infection or what. I don't know what's going on, y'all. I just know I'm miserable. So usually I'm going to look a little better than this and have a little bit more energy, and my eyes are probably going to be open a little more widely. But right now I am like dehydrated with a headache and miserable. So I apologize for that. But hopefully come this time next week when I do my check-in video next week, I will be feeling better. But anyway, I wanted to go ahead and get this check-in video recorded and hit y'all with a few things that I think will help y'all be successful in this course. So this is going to be a bit of a course overview. So give me one moment. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all how to speed up a YouTube video because that is something I talk very slow, as you can see. So one thing you're going to want to do if you do watch the check-in videos, which will be optional, they'll always be optional. If you want to watch the check-in videos, I do want you to know that you can speed me up because I know I talk slow. So give me one moment here. Okay, so again, if you are wanting to speed a video up, and this is a video of my little baby girl here, you want to speed a video up, then what you can do is, and my videos are always uploaded through YouTube. So you can do this here, and you can go to settings and go to playback speed, and usually you can take me up to a 1.5 and still hear exactly what I'm saying and everything I'm saying. And as you can see now, the video is sped up, and that's how that works. So yes, if you want to speed up the video, that's how you do it. And again, I recommend speeding my videos up because I am not somebody who talks quickly, okay? Okay, so let's talk about this course a little bit and some of the things that I'll be expecting from you throughout the course of the course. And, you know, some of the things that I think might come up as questions and that sort of thing. And, we will go from there. So first of all, I do want to, and those of you who have had me in classes before already know this, but I want to make this clear to anybody who has not had me in a class before. I do these optional check-in videos once a week, usually every Monday and Tuesday, or Tuesday, not every Monday and Tuesday, every Monday or Tuesday. And they can be a varying length, but again, they're optional. And again, I would recommend you speed them up. But I do think the ones that I'm going to do for this course are going to be very helpful for this course because I will be incorporating some information in the check-in videos that I cannot actually present in written form in the course. I will be drawing information from several sources in my check-in videos this semester, well, this summer session. But I will not be able to, I don't have the permission to actually upload the files themselves to these things into Canvas, and it's actually somebody else's intellectual property. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of summarize and blend in with some other things, but, you know, this is a way to kind of give you some information that I can't, to give you information in a different form that I can't give you in the traditional form, so to speak, by just putting it into the course site. So I will recommend my check-in videos for this summer session, but they are not going to be mandatory, and you are going to have a lot of reading. This is really 15 weeks worth of work compressed into 8 weeks. So there's a lot of material, and there are a lot of things that are combined in weeks that I actually would have preferred to just have as things as separate weeks, but unfortunately I couldn't do that. So the course is structured a bit differently from how it'd be structured if it were a 15-week course, but we've only got 8 weeks, so that's how it goes. So I wanted to get that out of the way. All right, so yeah, let's actually start out by getting into this syllabus a little bit here and just talking about that. So, and again, I'm sorry that my energy is low, y'all. So I apologize for that. And again, I know that I'm gonna bring more. One thing that I think my students actually do associate with me is enthusiasm and energy. And that's not what you all are seeing from me right now, so I apologize. But I hope they have that back next week because, that's what I love seeing on my teaching evaluations is people saying, hey, Dr. Jace has so much energy and enthusiasm and he seems excited to be sharing his knowledge or his perspectives with us. I really do get excited about that, so I apologize if I just seem out of it right now, but yeah, I feel terrible. But yeah, hopefully next week I will be back to my bubbly, energetic self. But yeah, let's talk about this syllabus here. So you are in 9449, which is your services to business communities class. It's going to be largely a business reference class. I'm actually going to try to get this course description changed a little bit. The course is completely async. During the spring and fall semesters, I generally do have sync sessions, but I would not have those here in the summer course because you all have a lot of reading, so I need to make sure that your schedule is pretty flexible. So you're not going to have sync sessions this time around. Class description, you can read that on your own. I'm not going to actually read that out loud right now for the sake of trying to keep this video under an hour. Again, your instructor is Dr. Jace Austin. Email me anytime, any place, anytown, austinj@missouri.edu. My phone number, which is an office phone number, 816-235-1875, and you can schedule an appointment to meet with me either by phone or by Zoom, or you will definitely need to schedule ahead of time if you want to visit me in person at UMKC because I do not have set office hours. I just come to UMKC as needed at this point because my affiliation with them has changed. So as far as the overview, I do want to state very quickly that business librarianship does utilize a special and specific skill set that many librarians just do not have or they do not have in depth. And most librarians do not have business backgrounds, by the way. There are some librarians who have MBAs, actually my predecessor, Chris LeBeau, being one of them. But I do not have an MBA, and most librarians, even most business librarians, do not. And that's something that you're going to see revealed time and time again through this course. And I think that even those of you who do not plan on being business librarians have done yourself a very big favor by taking this course because you still need to have some familiarity with business librarianship, with business resources, and with the types of inquiries that business librarians get. But very few business librarians, from my experience, actually went to library school saying, I'm going to be a business librarian. Most business librarians seem to just default or end up in that position. And so that's what I want you all to be aware of, is that this class could be the start of your journey to becoming an accidental business librarian. It just might happen. And if it does happen, then I do feel that this class is going to lay sort of the groundwork for you to be successful in that arena. Now, I am going to try to make the business plan assignment that I have you all do in accordance with SLO 3 and SLO 4 for your e-portfolios. So for your final semester, you're going to have to do an e-portfolio, and that's going to include having some assignments that you did for, like we have 4 SLOs, and if you need more information about this, I can provide that to you. But you have 4 SLOs associated with this program, SLOs being student learning outcomes. And so for SLO 3, graduates will be competent in information organization and life cycle activities, techniques of organization of information, and with using and evaluating technologies of the information professions. Your usage of the databases, and you're going to be doing these worksheets, as I call them. They're actually in the quiz section of Canvas, but they're going to be called worksheets. Those are going to help you with those technologies within the information professions. And then for graduates will be able to assess community needs, formulate plans to respond to users of information agencies, and instruct users in using information resources. Oh, I've got to delete that for heritage paper thing. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about now. I'm in student view, so I'll delete that when I get out of student view. I apologize for that. As I said, I'm heavily medicated and there are going to be some errors here. But yeah, so I am planning for your final to actually be something that you can submit as part of SLO 4 if you would like to. So that's what I'm going to be working on there, and I will get that for heritage paper language out of there. That is for my cultural heritage class that I teach. Online course access, if you're having any problems, please contact the help desk at 573-882-5000 or techsupport@missouri.edu. I am going to have to update this page here. I've actually put in a request to see what the new support page is. I have not gotten that back yet. Thank you, Candy, for pointing out to me that that link was outdated. If you need any technical help, again, the help desk is who helps with that, either for Canvas or for email and all that type of stuff, actually. Online class netiquette. Your instructor and fellow students wish to foster a safe online learning environment. All opinions and experiences, no matter how different or controversial they may be perceived, must be respected in the tolerant spirit of academic discourse. You are encouraged to comment, question, or critique an idea, but not to attack an individual. Now, having said that, when I say that all opinions and experiences, no matter how controversial they may be perceived, must be respected, I don't know. I probably do need to adjust that language, but right now that's where I am. However, there are controversial things that just attack somebody's humanity. And if you're attacking somebody's identity or humanity, please just, don't. There's probably no need to actually do that in a course like this anyway. But yeah, please, there's certain things that I'm hoping that you all will keep to yourselves if you feel those ways. And so, hopefully those aren't going to come up in the business course anyway. But there's certain things that when you attack certain identities that I just don't want you to do it. So if you say something like, I think that transgenderism is fake, or if you say something like, I think that Christianity is a poisonous religion or something like that, please kind of keep those things to yourselves. And again, I'm not going to be expecting that to come up very often in this type of a class. But it can come up in other things like intellectual freedom and like cultural heritage and some other things that I teach. And I would just basically say that, maybe, you can respectfully attack an institution, or an idea, a concept, whatever. But I would just try to avoid things that attack the identities of people. I'll admit what would be called a moderate liberal. I would be liberal to the standards of most people here in Missouri, but I wouldn't necessarily be seen as a liberal in, say, San Francisco or something like that. But I'm very respectful of conservatives. Even though I'm black, I'm very respectful of other races, white, indigenous, Asian, any ethnicities. I'm a cis-het male, but, women, I'm very respectful to people who are not heterosexual or not cisgender. I'm very respectful to. I am a Noahidus, but I'm very respectful to people of whatever religion including non-religion or atheism, or agnosticism, I just love it all. I think we need it all in order to, actually kind of make humanity interesting. So I would just ask that you not attack people's identities, so to speak. If somebody says that they're trans, or if somebody says that they're Christian, or if somebody says that they're conservative or liberal or whatever, please just let them be. Let people exist in the space and expect people to let you exist in the space. That's what I want. Okay, moving on from that. Zoom, we don't have any required Zoom sessions in this course. Now, what I might end up doing, if there is any need for us to have like a Zoom session, or I shouldn't even say quote unquote need. If there is a need or desire for any Zoom session, then we can totally do that, and I can press the Zoom link and you all can join. Most of the time when I have optional Zoom sessions in any class, they're very poorly attended because they're optional. But if you all want to, if there is, by all means, you can go into the free-for-all discussion area or anywhere else. And if you think that there's a good idea for bringing the class together for a synced Zoom session, and just, it can be as simple as y'all having a happy hour together. I'm more than happy to put something together for y'all for that, or anything like that. Just let me know. But we don't have any required or any currently scheduled Zoom meetings for this course. Textbook. Celia Ross, Making Sense of Business Reference, this guy right here. The 2020 edition. Now the older edition, the first edition, this is the second edition I have in my hand. The first edition is actually available for free via Mizzou's library. So if you you just need to do a library search for Celia Ross, Making Sense of Business Reference, and that older edition, which I think is from 2012, if I'm not mistaken, is somewhere around that area. That'll pop up and you can access that whole thing for free, but it is out of date, and so that's why I'm using this one right here. But I know some of you are getting your textbooks a little late, and some of you may have financial difficulties getting the latest textbook. So you can try to skate by with the older edition. The class is kind of set up. There are a few things that you'll probably need the new edition for, but the class is set up so that you can probably skate by, to be honest, on the old edition. But I would prefer you have a new edition because, why would you pay to take a class to have out-of-date information, right? Everything else aside from the textbook, all additional materials will be available through the library or through other open access options. Here is our grading scale. Most people in my classes do get A's. Very few people fail my classes. You need at least a 93 to get an A. You need at least an 83 to get a B. You need at least a 73 to get a C. There is no D in graduate work. I do reserve the right to award pluses or minuses based on exceptional work or substandard work within a letter grade. My late work policy, I'm kind of flexible with this, but please don't take advantage of that. That's why I have it written that things more than 3 days late will not be accepted unless prior arrangements have been made. But still, I'm very human, y'all. So if anything happens, like, you on the day that an assignment is due, your significant other breaks up with you, or your dog dies, or you're in a car accident, or even if you're not injured in the car accidents are very stressful even when you're not injured because they cost money, and a lot of times you got to go through insurance and they give you a hard time, yada, yada, yada. If life happens to you, then go ahead and reach out to me and say, hey, can I get a day or two extension? I'm more than likely to grant it, okay? Now, as far as what you will be evaluated on, and I am very certain at this point because I've looked at it 3 times, but again, if my math is off, let me know, but this should add up to 100 points. So the assignments that you'll need to do in order to reach your 100% total points, as you can see, 100% total points. Syllabus quiz will be worth 1 point. That will be due Sunday night. Several of you have already done it. Database practice. So the database worksheets are actually in the quiz area of the class, and I'll go there later. There are 8 weeks. There's a worksheet for each week, and so that's going to equal 5 points per worksheet, 8 worksheets. That's 40 points. As you saw in the announcement that I sent yesterday when I opened the class, you can attend a free webinar on June 16th, and you can get 4 points for that automatically just by sending me like a screenshot. Or what you can do instead of that is you may you can pull up one of the nonprofit workshop videos from the Indianapolis Public Library, and you can do a summary / reaction of one of the workshop videos, whatever one you select. That'll be due on June the 20th. And then at some point during the semester, some point during the summer, I suggest you not wait till July 30th. But sometime between now and July 30th, another thing you'll have to do is one of the discussion prompts is a reaction to a BizLib listserv problem or stumper. And there are also stumpers listed in both textbooks. So either the first edition or the second edition, they both have stumpers in them. Reaction to the stumper, you'll see that prompt in the discussion area. And you'll just post your reaction in the discussion area. I want you all to see each other's reactions too, to see if you have similar feelings in that way. There's a method to my madness. I know that some things may seem a little bit haphazard, but there's a method to my madness. And the reason why I'm going to have you all do the reaction to a stomper in a discussion board area where your classmates can see it as opposed to just submitting it to me is because I want you all to understand that a lot of the frustrations that you're going to feel are not unique to you. Your classmates and other early professionals have felt the same things that you're feeling, and so I do want you all to take some comfort in that and knowing that you don't have to be great right away. That everybody experiences some anxiety and some worry and some discomfort, but with experience you get through it, okay? So I want that to be clear. Discussion boards, those are going to be worth 16 points total. So it's 8 weeks, and you're going to have, for each week, you are going to have one original post and one reply to your classmates. So you're going to have 8 weeks with one original post, that's 8 points, and then 8 weeks with one reply to a classmate at least, and that's going to be 8 points. So that's a total of 16 points, if that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know. Just email me, and you're going to have those weekly. And then also your business plan assignment, which I have not populated yet because I've got to figure out how to make it viable to this class. That's going to be worth 34 points. So I know that's a huge amount of points, but you can do it. And that's going to be due on August the 1st. So there you go. You can read over the discussion posting criterion there. Expectations. This is a technology enhanced course. I will be expecting you to have to come into this course with competent technological skills. I am expecting you all to log into the course pretty regularly, 2 to 3 times a week, Monday through Friday. And you should hear back from me if you email me in no longer than 72 hours. Hopefully it'll be sooner than that. Usually it will be. So there's that. And then we have a weekly schedule here, and I'm going to go through this really quick. So this is week 1. So in week 1, we are introducing you to these business concepts, and then we are also introducing you to the public business librarianship side of things. So one thing that we're going to have is this interview with Kelly Head, who is the business librarian for the Mid-Continent Public Library System in the Metro Kansas City area. So I did that video just so that you could see Kelly talk about Kelly's day-to-day responsibilities and so forth, and just what it's like for Kelly to be a public business librarian. Okay, you do have 3 readings from the textbook, and then also some other supplemental readings. They're required, so you should read them anyway. But I will say these Chris LeBeau readings. So, just a quick history here. Chris LeBeau is the person who had the job that I currently have before I had it. And Chris LeBeau, unlike me, has an MBA. And so she was long seen as one of the best business librarians in the country, okay? And so what she does, she actually provides a lot of context in her lectures that you're not going to get from the textbook. Because as you'll see when you read the textbook, a lot of this is like brief descriptions. It's a very concise textbook, which is what I like about it, and that's why I encourage you to keep it, because this can be used to look up things in a pinch when you are actually doing professional reference in business. But I will also say that because this is concise and meant to be something that can be picked up in a pinch, it does not supply the same context in a lot of text the way that Chris LeBeau's lecture notes are going to offer. So for that additional context, and so you can understand things just beyond quick descriptions, yes, I recommend that you really take advantage of reviewing Chris's lectures, okay? And then also one thing that I want to say as far as these other readings, these academic readings that you all have, one quick note that I would like to make is that you really don't have to, when you read these, you don't have to read them in order to retain everything. You can kind of quickly read them to get the general idea. And one thing that I would say is that if you've got something that is actually following a research design, a lot of times you don't even have to read the methods. So you probably want to read the literature review really quickly and then the results and the conclusion in the introduction, but you'll learn quickly that a lot of times if you see a method section, you don't necessarily need to read the method section. And then even with the results, you can kind of skim that quickly and then just get to the discussion. And the discussion is where you're going to get those key points that you really need in order to really embrace the reading and the work that you're doing. Okay. So I would say that, yeah, don't waste too much time really trying to comprehend the entire research design. You don't need to do this. I'm just wanting you really more so to get the key points out of what you're reading. There are some optional readings, just one optional reading. And when you see this optional, that is not, the activities and assessment are not optional, folks. It's just that this is when you're getting to the optional part of the reading or viewing materials, okay? But your activities and assessments are required, so please understand that. Those are not optional, okay? And you'll see in the modules, in fact, I'll pull it up now. You'll see in the modules that things that are optional are generally labeled optional. If you see something that is not labeled optional in the modules but is in the syllabus, bring that to my attention. Usually it's probably going to just mean that I forgot to put the word optional into the module, and I will add that. But if there's a discrepancy, please bring that to my attention. Don't be shy about bringing discrepancies to my attention. Week 2 is going to be an introduction to companies, small business, and nonprofit research. This should really be, honestly, 3 modules with 3 in-depth reading lists, but I couldn't do that because we are in an 8-week summer program. So I had to kind of combine them, and so you'll see that you have 2 chapters from the textbook and then some readings here, and you've got 2 Chris LeBeau lectures. But hopefully, if I ever teach this as a 15-week course, I'll spread that out, and I apologize that it's going to be a lot of material for you. Week number 2 is going to be the most intense week, I think, of material that you all have. But if you make it through week number 2, 1 and 2 are actually going to be some of the harder weeks. And if you make it through the first 2 weeks, don't drop the course because you've done the hard part already. Okay. So, and you do have quite a bit of optional stuff here. Ideally, I would have had nonprofit be a week of its own, and then I could have put that entire series, maybe even as required. But then I wouldn't have had enough time to do a lot of other readings. But you know, this is the list of Indianapolis nonprofit series videos, and I'm talking about if you can't make the June 16th webinar, okay? And then all these other things listed here under optional are also, of course, optional. And you do have a worksheet and the webinar if you choose to go to it. and the week 2 discussion prompt for week 2. Industry research, week 3 is when things start to slow down a little bit in the class. Things aren't going to be completely slow ever because it's an 8-week class. But week 3, you will notice that there's going to be a drop off in the amount of expectation from you from week 2 to week 3 because you have been introduced to the core concepts in week 1 and 2, and now you're just going to round that out and learn a few other things more specifically this time around. Now, again, this is going to look kind of weird. There's a method to my madness. There are going to be readings related to understanding business librarianship at the public or at the academic institution throughout the course, not just in weeks 1 and 2. And the reasons for that are because most people who work as business librarians do so either in... All right, yeah, so most people who work as business librarians do so in public or academic settings. So I had a focus on public readings in week 1 and then a focus on academic readings in week 2. But starting in week 3 and going throughout the rest of the course, these things are going to kind of just be casually dispersed within the rest of the course. So you'll see that occurring throughout the rest of the course, but part of the reason for that is because I am trying to basically just get it into your heads that, yes, this is all going to relate back to actual practice within public or academic libraries, okay? So you'll see, even in week 3, like you'll see supporting pedagogy needs of faculty teaching undergraduate business students at K-State. You see that in week 3. It's an academic, kind of an academic support piece, and you'll see another one here that's within the public library's briefcase for trade associations for industry research. But this is to relate these things back to your practice as a public or academic business librarian, okay? So you've got the industry research there. Try to familiarize yourself with NAICS codes. They come in pretty big handy. And I'm going to talk about those again in the week 3 check-in video. Week 4, you are going to have and I'm probably going to put in a little grace period because Sunday, July the 4th, that's a holiday, as you all know. So there'll probably be a grace period into July 5th, honestly, with the week 4 stuff. But week 4 is your market and consumer research stuff. And so you've got some selected readings for that, some selected videos as well. I actually really like this BYU Libraries Market Research playlist, which is 25 minutes total. You will also get the second interview I did that I really probably wanted to put in week 2, which is my interview with Steve Kramer, who's an academic business librarian. I kind of wanted to put that in week 2, but you just had so much stuff in week 2 that it was impossible to add this and to get you all on track with what you need. So I had to delay that to week 4. And also this interview is a bit longer, so I apologize for that. But Steve and I have known each other for about 15 years now. Not quite 15 years, more like 12 or 13. Still, because of that, we were probably talking a little more than we should have, so I apologize for that. But that's what happens when you have friends in the field. And we do have some optional materials again here. You'll have a Mintel worksheet to go through there that you'll work through. On week 5, July the 5th through 11th, that's when you'll do your data and statistics. And I know, please don't freak out. This says that you have an entire book that you have to read for week 5, and you do. But this book is a very quick read. This Embedded Business Librarianship for the Public Librarian from 2016, so about 5 years ago. It's not out of date. It's an entire book, but I think it's less than 100 pages long. And to be honest with you, you're probably going to spend as much time going through this entire book as you would going through some of the other materials throughout the course. So don't think that having an entire book to read one week is going to really weigh on your time. It's actually not. This book is an unbelievably quick read. And then you've also got 2 academic librarian pieces that go along with your public library piece. You've also got a very short chapter in the Making Sense of Business reference book. And thankfully, Chris LeBeau gave us her government data lecture, and that's going to be very useful for kind of understanding some of the other things and more context that you'll be encountering there. So some optional materials are also listed there, and then you've got a data and statistics worksheet that's going to be due. And again, the worksheets are in the quizzes area. July the 12th through the 18th is when you're going to talk investments and stocks. So you're going to read chapter 5 of your textbook. We're also going to have some PDFs from Johnson County that are pretty helpful that I'm going to have you read related to Morningstar. Library support for student financial literacy, a survey of librarians at large academic institutions. When you talk about investment in stocks, you're also talking about financial literacy, and so that's why you see financial literacy stuff popping up, public and academic libraries here. And then also you've got a Yahoo Finance tutorial that I want you all to view, and 2 lectures from Chris. Then some optional materials and a Yahoo Finance worksheet that tutorial will probably help you complete. Week 7, you probably noticed that your textbook, like I said in this video, doesn't have a lot of text. This textbook is meant to be very concise, but that also maybe robs you of some of the context. So again, that's why you have these optional readings. However, I'm going to let you look at on week number 7, especially for chapters 1, 4, 10, and 11. I'm going to have you look at a older business librarianship textbook from 2012. Again, this one's older, but it provides more context on some of these things. So your required readings will be the Chris LeBeau Competitive Intelligence lecture, and then 4 chapters from this book. And then after that, any chapters not required. If you want to read them, you can read them optional. And then week number 8. So this is something that's a little weird about me, but this is what I do. This is my first time teaching this course from the zoo. And so you've only got 7 weeks of material, and then every time I teach a new course here, I devote the 8th week, or not the 8th week, but I devote the last week to allowing the students to give feedback and to finish their finals, because one thing that I don't know quite yet, because I haven't taught the class before and I designed the class, this is a sharp departure from Chris LeBeau's way of teaching the class. Again, Chris LeBeau has a MBA, so she has business experience and a lot of business know-how that I just frankly don't have. So she designs the course one way, and I think that in order for me to teach the course as somebody who has business librarian experience but does not have an MBA, which is going to be the case for most business librarians, I feel I had to teach the course a different way from how she taught it. So that's why I completely redesigned this course. So I don't know exactly how much time you're going to need to get your finals done, and so that's why I give you basically the entire week 8 to not do any new readings, unless there are some optional readings, and you can certainly read those, but there are no new required readings in week 8. That week is dedicated to getting your finals done. It's also dedicated to, you do have a discussion board prompt, but it's not based on readings. It's actually based on how you feel about the course. And then you will have a wrap-up worksheet, which is actually this time really a quiz. It's a multiple-choice quiz. And your business plan and your stumper reaction are both due. But again, you can do your stumper reaction probably a lot earlier. Okay, so that is the course rundown over the next few weeks. Hold on one moment. Okay, so now we are, by the way, if you hear children's music in the background, I don't know where my headphones are, and my foster daughter is home now, so she is entertaining herself. She is 10 months old, so she's entertaining herself with some Elmo and some other things that I've got on autoplay for her. So I apologize if you hear that. Hopefully you'll hear me over it. Okay, I also think she's the one that brings me the germs home, because I've been getting a lot sicker ever since I took her in. Okay, let's go to the next thing that we're gonna be doing really quick here, just to kind of round out explanations of the course. So again, the worksheets. This is important. The worksheets are actually in the quiz section of the course. Now, you should also see them in the modules. So if you go to like the home page and you go to the modules, you should see the worksheets just linked in the modules as well. But if you want a full listing of them, like if you're one of these people that works ahead or something like that, then the worksheets are all in the quizzes section, and they are not they're free form. So I'm gonna open up the one that you have due this week, for instance, and resume quiz. You can actually just when you open this, you should be given free-form text, and you should be able to just put in your answers, something, and it's not going to automatically grade. So I need y'all to realize that I do have to go in and review these. So if it says you got a 0, please don't freak out. That just means that you just submitted the answers and I haven't graded them yet, but I do have to read them and grade them. So something, 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 something. Each of these is worth 5 points total, each worksheet. But when you put in your attempt, that's what you're going to see, 0 out of 5. Again, please do not freak out. That is not what you're actually going to have as a grade. I go in and I review these, and then I assign the grade to make sure, but I'll make sure they're right, and then I assign them. So don't freak out when you see that 0 out of 5. These are not automatically graded. I have to grade them. That's why they are free form. Except for, again, the last week is going to be a multiple choice quiz so that you can get through it faster and get on with your your business plan assignment. And I will send out a message when the business plan assignment is done. Okay. So you have all these discussion boards. There may be more added, but these are what you have right now. If you have questions or comments about the course, put them here. If you just want to do like something silly, it can be anything. It can be about sports. It can be about, it can be about what you had for dinner. It can be about something interesting that you saw on TV or whatever. But this is free for all, for you all to get to know each other. You are not obligated to put anything in there, but I would love for you all to put something in there. I'm really big on networking. For those of you who don't know, I think that the networking needs to start while you are in school. So you've got those pinned discussions, and then from there, you have other discussions that introduce yourselves. Most of you have already done those already. Reaction to the BizLib listserv stumper, that is an assignment. And I spoke about that a little earlier, so have that in. This does say it's due July the 30th. Again, this is something that I would recommend you all do sooner than that, and so I'm going to be sending out reminders about this. And then you will have, I'm sorry that week 3 is out of order. I actually couldn't move it back the way I wanted to. But you've got your week 1, your week 1 discussion prompt due here, or listed here. Week 2, week 3 is up here, and then they go back down 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, in order to get both points, and I believe this is stated in every single prompt, so no excuses. In order to get both points for this week's discussion prompt, you must post your own original posting and respond to at least one classmate. Your original post is worth 1 point, and your response is worth 1 point. Additional posts are welcome and may result in extra credit at my discretion. And the reason I offer the extra credit is in order to try to get some discussion and dialogue going, because that really does help the course when you all are engaged with one another. But the Business Librarianship course, it doesn't really invite the same amount of discussion as the other classes I teach, like reference and cultural heritage and intellectual freedom. The other things I teach, they invite a lot more discussion. So it's going to be a little weird with the business librarian course, but I still hope you all get pretty engaged. And also, let me go back into assignments. So also with assignments, in addition to your worksheets and in addition to your discussion, so you have your worksheets and your discussions listed here. You're also going to have your free the free June 16th webinar or submit a summary and reaction to one of the Indianapolis Public Library nonprofit bids. You'll see this prompt here, and this will be something that you actually submit in the classic way. So yeah, what you'll do, text entry box or file upload, that's a little weird, but okay. I might have to fix this. I'm sorry, there's something. Oh, okay. All right, I was like, what is going on? I was actually blocking myself here. Okay. So when you're ready to submit that, you can, if you do the screenshot, if you attend the webinar and do the screenshot, then you can just upload your screenshot and just put it in and submit it. Or if you do have to do your summary and reaction to an Indianapolis Public Library nonprofit workshop video, then you can either upload your Word file or you can do the text entry here, either or you can do these other things. I think Box is going away, but you can do these other things. So that should explain that, and there'll be more information on the business plan assignment when I am ready to, well, when that assignment is ready, but I'm still tooling that. So outside of that, just a few other things that I want to mention. Again, I'm under the weather, so I'm not my typical energetic and hyped self. But one thing that I do, and those of you who have had me before have heard this before, but one of the things, Max, shut up. Let me go get the dog. The damn cat, that damn dog, he sees a dog. He's doing it again. Max, stop. He sees dogs on TV and he goes bonkers. 'Cause he's weird. But anyway, all right. So he's doing that. I think the dog is gone now. Yeah. So some other things that I want you all to know is, first of all, one thing that I found when I've been out here in the Midwest, and again, my students who have had me before have heard this before, so I apologize that you're hearing it again. But I'm a Southerner. I'm from the rural South. I'm from rural North Carolina. I'm from a place that's not quite as homogenous as the Midwest, to put it delicately. And one thing that I've noticed is that, because I taught in the South too, I taught at the University of South Carolina when I was earning my PhD. And I was accepted as myself there much better because there are more, I'll just say it, there are more people who are not white in the South than in the Midwest. Even in the rural South, again, I'm from the rural South, but you had a plantation culture in the rural South. And I grew up in the same county that my enslaved ancestors worked plantations on. And that's true throughout the South. So you find black people throughout the South. And there is a culture in the South that's different from this culture in the Midwest. This Midwestern nice culture, it's not me. I'll just be honest with you. And I know that it intimidates a lot of my students. And a lot of my students, I can tell, they don't even have to tell me. I can tell they're not used to having black instructors or anything like that. And so there's some racial bias. I'll just call it what it is. Again, there's some racial bias that shows up in my teaching evaluations. It happens all the time. Again, in the South, I never had this stuff, but in the Midwest, people are always describing me as abrasive or defensive or aggressive, or I think cranky came up in my last round of evaluations. Just make sure, for one thing, that what you're experiencing is not, oh my God, the big scary black guy is teaching me and I don't know how to deal with it. I think that a lot of that is honestly bias against my race and culture, not so much me being who I am. And there actually are studies that back this up that show that teaching evaluations in college, they're sexist, they're racist, and they're ableist. So I say all that to say, I'm giving y'all a chance and I want y'all to give me a chance too, but I don't have this Midwestern nice type of approach that a lot of people in Missouri and these other states in the Midwest are used to, okay? And just because I'm not artificially bubbly does not mean that I don't like you. It does not mean that you can't ask me questions. You just have to get used to people who are from different areas of the country and from people who have different ethnic backgrounds and other cultural backgrounds. That's something that you're going to have to do. The library field is trying to embrace diversity, and one thing that we have to do in order to do that is to understand that not everybody is going to present in ways that we have extreme comfort with. Try to get comfortable with people who are different from you. And that may start with some of you right here today, because I know that some of you have probably not had a black instructor before, so this is your first time. Welcome. I'm as friendly as anybody else in this department. It's just that my delivery is a little different because of my culture and because of where I'm from. So I am gonna, just put it there very kindly and gently and just leave it at that. And I do not want you all to, I was looking at my my spring evaluations, and some student, and I don't know who it was because the evaluations are anonymous, but some student was like, oh, well, he got mad once, and so from then on, I wasn't comfortable asking him questions. That is a very, as a Southerner, I'm just going to call it how I feel it is. That is a very punk-ass way of going through life. Oh, somebody was a little upset or irritated, so now you never feel comfortable asking them questions again. That's not how people on the East Coast or people in the South operate. I'll just be honest. I've never experienced that until I came to the Midwest. I've had bosses curse me out, and I still had to come back to them that very day and ask them how I can do things better and do things differently. And I've had teachers cuss me out too. I did not go to good schools. So, if you went to a suburban school district, then yeah, maybe your teachers didn't curse you out. But our teachers were the teachers who just got out of college, or they were otherwise people that couldn't get hired by those better school districts. They came to our place, and they would match us tit for tat for any type of acting up that we did. Okay. So you're going to have to, I'm not always going to be artificially bubbly, this Minnesota nice, this Midwestern nice stuff that people are always talking about here in the Midwest. It's a foreign thing to me, and that's not how I operate. But please, if I get a little irritated or I seem a little peeved, you can't take that as, oh, now I can't just approach him ever. You're going to have to, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to toughen up. And trust me, I got my master's degree at HBCU, North Carolina Central, the only historically black college that has a accredited library of science program. And I'll tell you, for the students who think that I'm abrasive or aggressive or defensive, they wouldn't even survive at Central. They'd have been so overwhelmed by how people do things there, because black instructors are no nonsense. You know what I'm saying? That's just the culture. I was raised in black schools or partly in black schools. I've done black and white schools, but my middle and high school, they were predominantly black, and our teachers were very no nonsense. They cared about us, but it was tough love. Okay. And that's what you will probably have to get used to if you ever work for a person of color, or if you ever have me again, like you have me now, or another instructor of color. So I'm just going to put that out there. And I don't mean to make anybody uncomfortable with the subject of race, but it's also just the level of discomfort that people just seem to have with me anyway just weirds me out. And so I'm trying to explain to you that just because I don't come off as artificially bubbly and I don't know who, like Wayne Brady or somebody, that does not mean that you have to be scared of me. Okay, so I said I'd try to keep this under an hour. I think that's pretty much everything. If you've got any other questions, please just email me. I am very, very friendly, despite these folks who think that I'm one of these other things. I'm very friendly. I'm very easy to talk to. I just don't have this artificial bubbliness that I think a lot of Midwestern people have. That's how I'm going to call it. Okay, so, and I hope you're not offended by that, but you can talk about Southerners too, to make it even, because, hey, there's a lot that you can say about Southerners, and I'm from the South, and I know. All right, so y'all have a good one, and if you have questions, email me, austinj@missouri.edu, and you will be seeing me make comments in the class, and you will see another check-in video next week. Hopefully I'll feel better. Peace!